Hey guys, it's Andrew and Steven with Peach State Overland. In this video, we kind of wanted to touch on the first time that we cooked as a group on an expedition.
Like, you know, in the past, we've always all cooked on our own, but for this Nova Scotia expedition, we were limited on space in the trucks. You know, we're going really far, and we had multiple people in the vehicles like we haven't had in the past. So we had to strategically pack our refrigerators and freezers, make sure we cooked for everybody this time around. So
before we left, we kind of decided out of the 4 rigs, 2 were going to be dedicated to food and cooking, and the other 2 were going to be dedicated to things like camera gear and people carrying. So we had a 60 quart in one and a 75 quart in the other. On the expedition, we kind of figured out the 60 and the 75 were enough for 10 people to carry the food with the freezer and fridge. But a big oversight was the beer and the beverages. We actually didn't have enough room for that. And a couple of times decisions were made of what food needed to be sacrificed in order to make sure we have the beer cold.
Gotta have the beer cold.
When you get to camp, usually people want to get their stuff set up and just have a drink after a long day of driving and moving around. So that was one of the things that we're going to think about next time, is having a fridge dedicated to beer is important, but also to drinking water. Gallon jugs of drinking water and stuff like that.
We went from Lunenburg there over to Hyclass Campground. That way we could be closer to Cape Breton Island so that we could spend the night on the water, which ended up working out fantastic. We ended up getting a beautiful campsite out there.
Steven?
You're doing the food.
I can put it in the pot. When we were in Lunenburg and we were fishing with Captain Bill, we as a group caught probably 40 or 50 fish. The kids did great. Everybody did great. Steven did real great. I think he caught 1 fish in like a 4 to 6 hour span. But I mean, that's all that counts. It's not a shutout.
I got 1.
It's as long as you got 1.
Yeah.
The 2 cods that we kept were caught by Daniel and Patrick.
Yeah.
Boom.
You're welcome.
What was that, Patrick?
You're welcome.
You gotta sing it. I want the whole thing.
I don't know the rest of it.
Just gotta let this toast for a second.
Hold that Mikey. So we kind of put it together right there at the end.
On the block.
So we use taco seasoning, just the same that we use the beef. We kind of use on the taco, the cod itself. Oh yeah there, buddy. These are fresh caught from today. We just kind of squeezed some lime across it, and we did a very shallow pan fry type of deal, just to crisp up the fish. Would you like some fish?
Amazing. Delicious.
You guys are
Fresh.
Yeah, it was really great. We just completed the day before getting into Canada, pushing it hard. So we'd had 3 days of long hour drive. Getting up the next day early to get that fishing charter was a little tiring for everybody, but definitely got rewarded at the end of the day when we got to Hyclass, and couldn't pick a better way to end the day, right? We all get to a nice campsite. We're cooking fish we just caught that morning. So there was really a great way to bring everybody together and kind of a good like team building spirit, if you will, as we all went around the campfire and ate our tacos.
So at the beginning of the trip, and when we all got together to plan this and made the decision to switch from individual meals to a group cooked meal, we had a great plan that we're gonna make pasta this night, we're gonna make pizza this night, we're gonna do these things, and I think the first, second, third night of the expedition, we realized that it wasn't working. Mm-hmm. We were going to the grocery store every day. Mm-hmm. We'd always forget something, mm-hmm. and we ran into things like, hey, we're getting into camp super late, like at Cape Clear. Mm-hmm. We got in dark. In the dark, yeah. But we had technically scheduled a very large meal that was going to take time. Yep. After Cape Clear, we kind of came down. We stopped at the pub mm-hmm. for lunch. Yep. To kind of take it, and it's a local place right outside of Ingonish. Mm-hmm. And you and I just went through and said, hey, all right, we crayons. Know.
Squirrel. So we were at the Coastal Restaurant and Pub, broke out the crayons.
That's right. And they had crayons for kids.
Yep, yep.
So we grabbed that, we grabbed the rest of our itinerary.
Yep.
And we started actually thinking about what are we doing the day before and what time do we have to leave. Cameron, Steven said he was going to make meatballs. Handmade.
Lies.
So we started putting meals to those exact meal times and listed out everything we needed to get for the rest of the expedition. We are going to pick up food. We got about 3 days worth of food to pick up. Got our official list right here. So yeah, we're gonna get some good food.
It's Frenchish. It's French bread, actually. Next stop, Meat Cove. Meat Cove is one of the northernmost points in Nova Scotia. It's an absolutely beautiful scenery. You basically camp on the edge of a rock cliff. It was bucket list for all of us on the trip. When we all got together and said, where do we want to go in Nova Scotia? There was unanimously, everyone said Meat Cove, Meat Cove, Meat Cove, Meat Cove. So we had to make it up there. So we did, and thankfully they had some campsites for us. We were able to, you can't book Meat Cove ahead of time. So while Andrew and I were at the grocery store, we sent Dan, or rather Dan volunteered to go ahead of time up to Meat Cove and reserve some sites for us. So, which worked out great. We had a beautiful view, just as far as you could see ocean out to an island out there.
Nice area.
It was really nice. That's where we had the, where you had the great idea to make those pizzas. You got it from somebody, right?
Well, I want to take credit, but I'll give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
I actually got that idea from watching Lifestyle Overland. They did a video on how to make easy, simple, quick camp pizzas. So yeah, that's where I got it from, and it turned out really well.
It was really good.
So we're gonna make camp pizzas tonight. We're gonna do it really easy using Pillsbury dough. We're gonna cook the bread first, get that nice and toasty, get the veggies cooked, assemble it. Each person's gonna assemble their own, and then we're just gonna throw them on the frying pan and grill them up. Should be good.
So Jamie rolled out the dough and portioned it. I went ahead and cooked the dough so it was nice and crispy on one side, left the other side raw, and I flipped it, put all the toppings on the cooked side. Oh, hold on, we need to get serious here.
Oh, okay, yes.
Pineapples are a valid, and they have the right to be on any pizza just like any other topping.
They've earned it.
So
Yes.
if you don't like pineapples on your pizzas, we're gonna have to chat about that.
And the other folks in Peach State Overland that don't like pineapples on their pizzas aren't here to defend themselves. So
Everybody kind of got to build their own. We had
Yep.
red meat sauce,
Yep.
cheese, pepperoni, red peppers, onions, and mushrooms. Those are our toppings, but it just gave everybody an opportunity to have a little bit of what they wanted.
Ethan, is your pizza good? Yeah? What'd you get on it?
Pepperoni and cheese.
Is that your favorite? Awesome.
People who cooked while they're cooking, I mean, that's what they can focus on, but the people who weren't cooking were kind of in charge of the cleanup and washing the dishes and then putting it up, and that kind of made the work parallel versus in series to help us minimize the time that we had to do chores and maximize the time of just kind of relaxing and taking in where we were. But yeah, we met a couple of people. We kind of hung out through the night with a couple of
some
other
people joined
campers.
us at the campfire. It was nice.
At Meat Cove,
That's where we did
because we
cereal.
couldn't get meats,
Because we
or
couldn't get eggs.
eggs
We couldn't get
the
eggs
day
at Meat
prior,
Cove. Yep.
we opted for pastries and cereal,
Christmas dessert.
which kind of worked out because that was kind of our midpoint of the expedition. So it was a chance for everybody to kind of sleep in.
Yep.
Before we were up at 7, even earlier to
Yeah.
get ready.
Yeah, you and I were
But,
getting up really early.
Yep. I think we kind of slept till 8 or 9. We
Yeah, we had a
we
relaxing,
really kind of
relaxing day.
enjoyed that. So that was kind of a nice break for
It was really nice.
for
Yeah.
everybody.
And it was good.
So guys, this is the last episode in the Nova Scotia series. So Stephen, I wanted to ask you, what is the one thing, if you only had to pick one, that you would call out as your favorite part of this trip?
What I really loved for me was meeting up with Isaac and the guys from Cape Breton Overland to show us around. You know, it gave me a break from navigating, and I had a hell of a time finding places to go up in Nova Scotia, so they did a fantastic job of showing us around. Yeah, what about you?
So for me, I think it was the off-roading portion of it. I enjoy that type of stuff, and off-road navigating to Cape Clear and then doing the final drive into our final campsite at night was probably the best part for me.
Awesome. Well, this being our last episode in the series, we want to make sure we take a second to thank you all so much for watching. You know, we really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our videos, and of course, thank you to our sponsors. We couldn't be doing this without them, so check them out. They're in the description of the video you see below, and also, of course, in our credits. So give them a click on their links and see what they've got to offer for you.
Hit the like button, smash the subscribe.
Don't forget the alert button.
Alert.
The bell.
The little bell.
Hit the bell. You get notified when we post our next stuff.
That Georgians talk like this, but yeah, we do. Seth, sorry there, buddy. You're recording this, aren't you?
Now.
Hold on, I gotta top myself.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Watch this. Shubenacadie.
Chupacabra.
Oh, Shubenacadie.
What do we want to call it?
Shubenacadia?
Shubenacadia.
And it's Shubenacadie.
Shubenacadia.
They thought it was funny that we were calling it
Shubenacadie.
Shubenacadia.
Shubenacadia?
Shubenacadie.
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 Shubenacadie. Oh my God.
None of us had it right.
Shubenacadie.
None of us had it right.
Wrong emphasis.
Shubenacadie. Yeah.
It's going to take a while. I'm going to have to play this clip back.
I need to see the word.
Knock. Shubenacadie.
Shubenacadie.
It is Shubenacadie, but it looks like Shubenacadie. Or Shubenac.
Maybe it is more Shubenacadie.
Shubenacadia?
Shubenacadie. It's either
Chupacabra.
knack or knock.
It's like Canadia.
It's not Shubenacadia.
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 Shubenacadia in Canadia.